Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, which is part 2 of my 6 series video on Rythmia, I will be sharing the lessons learned and the peculiar experiences I had after day 1 at Rythmia. Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Roland, and my passion is making it easy for you to remember who and why you truly are. Now, in this video, I will be discussing the lessons I learned and the peculiar experiences I had after day 1 at Rythmia, the very first time I took plant medicine. Now, before I do, I want to tell you why I went to Rythmia. I went to Rythmia in December of 2018 to confirm all the information I remembered after having my spiritual awakening on August 21st, 2018. After my spiritual awakening, I started to write a book to describe what that experience was like and also to share all what I remembered about who and why we all are. That's what eventually turned out to be this book. But at some point while I was writing, I decided to go to Rythmia, partake in the plant medicine ceremonies, and then use that opportunity to confirm with Mother Ayahuasca, or the higher being that I came encounter with, whether or not this information I received was true. I actually remember taking a rough draft of the book to Rythmia and showing it to Jerry, and he confirmed. He was reading through it and he goes, yeah, these are universal truths. And I thought, cool. Okay. So on night 1, many things happened, but I can't really go into all 4 hours plus of the night to describe all of it. What I want to highlight here are some of the peculiar experiences, and then also confirm or share one of the major lessons I learned in that night. So what was the peculiar experience? At some point in the night, we are able, or you're basically allowed to go out of the room where you're having the ceremony. It's a beautiful room. They set it up real nice. They have beds, blankets, towels, buckets for you to vomit in, pillows, etc. for more comfort. And outside the room, right, there are a lot of bathrooms scattered right next to the main room. Within the room and just outside, beyond a little fireplace pit, there's another bathroom, which you do need. But all of this is surrounded by a very beautiful lawn, and there's an open night sky. Very, very beautiful. The stars are out. The weather is great. The wind is blowing. It's just an amazing place to have this kind of spiritual journey. Now, at some point in the night, one of another member who was also at Rythmia with us was outside screaming his lungs out in joy. He was so happy because he had reconnected with his childlike self. And it sounded like they were literally just playing and tickling each other. And this guy was having the time of his life. It was also distracting, right? It was also distracting to everybody else. And so what I do is I get up and get out just to walk and clear my head and kind of see this guy and basically watch his experience. At that point, I had also had some interesting experience, a lot of energy movement in my root chakra. I had adopted some very interesting yoga positions. I felt like a cat, a really powerful cat, like a jaguar or something, but nothing profound that I can say, okay, yeah, especially given the expectations I had. Anyway, so I go outside and they have this gentleman is being helped by some of the folks who work at Rythmia, who support you during, these experiences, who help calm you down and bring your energy, back into center, whether you're dealing with joyful highs or very scary lows that kind of bring you back to center. They were trying to calm this fella down because he really was distracting everybody. And I come out and I watch it, and there are other people outside, just resting, meditating, going through the emotions, clearing out pain. Some people are sitting by the fire and having discussions with the fire, which at some point in the night I also did. And that's actually an interesting thing. Everything's alive and has consciousness, right? And so if you think having a discussion with fire sounds crazy, it's really not. It's legitimate. There's an intelligence to it that you can sit and literally talk with it. I know. But as I am outside, I take a right and I walk towards the front of Rythmia. And as I'm walking, I pass the fireplace to the other side of the fireplace. Is kind of like in the middle of the big hall where we all have the experience. As I walk past it, I have this urge to look up into the night sky and see all the stars. I don't know why. Okay, this is where it's fascinating for me. Immediately as I look up, I hear Roland, man, it's nice to see you again. We got you. You're doing good. I hear kind of like an acknowledgement, or we see you. We see where you are. Look up here. We got you, And I think, wait, what? Who's got me? And what the heck are you doing all the way up there? Like, what are you doing up there? And why do you have me and you're all the way up there? It doesn't make sense. Now, as soon as that happens, I feel this energy beam come right down to me. And out of nowhere, I don't know why I do this, I raise my hands up, catch the energy beam, and then bring it to heart center. And it just felt love. It felt like love, like a lot of support, a lot of we got you, we see you, we acknowledge you, you're doing great, good job. Yeah, that was one of the many peculiar experiences I had on that first night. Now, I thought, okay, well, that's odd. Okay, thanks, cool. I mean, you haven't told me your name, nothing. They didn't. They just said they got me and they sent me this stuff. And I was like, you could get paranoid. Who's watching? Who's watching me? And what are you doing up there? And why can you send me energy beams? It's fascinating. Here's the other piece. And I kind of touched on it earlier when I was mentioning the idea or the fact or the truth that you can have a conversation with fire. I'm laying in the grass and I'm still looking up in the sky. So day one for me had to do a lot with the night sky and all the stars. But as I'm looking at the night sky, all these highways show up between the stars. It's odd, but it's true. All these highways show up between the stars and they're connected to each other. No star is not connected. Every star is connected to each other. And after noticing this, the other thing I notice is they're talking to each other. That's the best way I can describe it. In other words, they're sharing information with each other. Just about every 2 seconds, I would see a bunch of information leave one star and go to another one through this highway. And what it reminded me of is the Wi-Fi signal. It just looked like a beam of energy would go boop, 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 from one star to another through this highway, this interconnected highway. It looked like, if you think about your brain and all the nerve endings being connected and how electrical signals move from one brain cell, one neuron to another one, that's what it looked like with every single star. I'm laying in the grass at Rythmia. I just communicated with these folks who say they got me. And then now I see this. And I think, my goodness, of course. I remember this with my awakening. Everything is information being shared, being exchanged. That's what we're doing. Okay? Fascinating. I mean, you can't unsee that. Like, oh, that makes sense. Look at that. The stars are talking to each other. I can't make it up. That's true. It actually influenced me so much that when I was designing the cover of my book, I included it in there. Basically, in the background of my book are these geometric shapes of points that are all connected. And that's what this is. It's kind of like I guess a big reveal. I don't know if you can see very well. My camera is not zooming correctly, but there's a geometric shape that kind of describes what I just said. And that was the inspiration, or that's the inspiration. That's where I got the inspiration or the idea to include that in the design of my cover. Yeah, we are all connected. That was like the major lesson. We're all the same thing, interacting and exchanging information with each other. Okay? So big major lessons from day one at Rythmia. That's it for me that I can share anyway. There's a lot more, but no need to go into all of that in this video. All right? So look forward to subsequent videos where I share, again, lessons learned, peculiar experiences from each night at Rythmia. Feel free to connect with me. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. You can reach out to me on my website, Roland@achenjang.com. Don't forget to get a copy of your own book, Who and Why You Are All You Need to Remember. It's available in paperback, electronic form, as well as audiobook, right? You can get it anywhere. Autographed versions on my website. Yeah, so I hope you found this video interesting. If you're thinking of going to Rythmia and you got questions, feel free to ask. But it's an amazing place. It definitely is. And I hope you have a great day.